Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Podcast with Jen. My name's Jen, and I'm your host. I have been a freelance audio and video editor since 2019. And since 2012, I've been creating content podcasts with my friends and for my friends. And now I make this podcast to share my tips, tricks, and experience with new creators or experienced creators just looking for some extra information. I know for me, even though I've been doing this for so long, I still find myself Googling and watching content and learning new things, and I want to be helping people in that way as well. I'm so happy you decided to join us this week. We're going to be talking about 3 tried and true strategies you can use to promote your podcast. But before we jump in, I want to ask you, have you ever poured your heart and soul into creating something, meticulously planning and creating and finishing the pre-production and post-production, and it looks perfect, and you upload it and you send it off into the abyss of the algorithmic ocean, never to be seen by the eyes and ears that it was intended for? You're not alone. Promoting your podcast is just as crucial as creating it. It's about ensuring your fantastic content gets the attention it really deserves. And today I'm excited to share 3 powerful strategies that will help you amplify your podcast reach, engagement, and impact. Okay, tip number 1, probably not a surprise to anybody, but it is to leverage social media. Social media is a powerhouse when it comes to promoting your podcast. By using social media strategically, it can help you increase your podcast visibility, help you engage with your listeners, and ultimately grow your listener base. With so many social media platforms out there, it's easy to be overwhelmed. So my suggestion is to choose a couple formats that you're comfortable with, and maybe one that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone, and start there. Obviously, short form video is huge, so creating small teasers and audiograms and behind the scene clips of your podcast is going to go a long way on platforms like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Engaging and interacting with your audience is also huge on social media, so you can use something like a Facebook group or a subreddit to connect with your listeners and engage in a more close and meaningful way there. You can create events like Q&As. Also, utilizing a live stream feature on an app like Instagram, TikTok, or even Twitch is a great way to connect with your audience in real time, answer questions, get feedback on past episodes, and collect information you can use to create new content that is basically tailored to your audience. I know for myself, I'm used to being behind the camera. I've said that before. Doing all this stuff out in the open is a little bit intimidating for me. So I'm really challenging myself with doing video. If you are listening to this podcast on Spotify, you can also watch a video of it on YouTube now. And also another social media platform that I want to explore is one that I've avoided this whole time it's existed, and that's Pinterest. And I know it's huge and it's a great search engine for different things and can be a great way to promote your podcast and your content and your message there. So if you're not on Pinterest, let's challenge each other and maybe support each other. And let's set a goal that 2024 is the year that we use Pinterest. All right, and our next strategy is search engine optimization. I don't know about you, but for me, SEO feels like a magic spell where you have to find the keywords that will bring your audience to you, and then you will have a happily ever after. SEO for podcasts plays a crucial role in enhancing visibility, discoverability, and audience reach. Here's why that's important. A well-optimized podcast increases the likelihood of appearing in search results when users use keywords in Google or other search engines. Appearing higher in the results of search engines means more people clicking through to your content and a bigger audience reach. Proper SEO practices can also help you outrank your competitors so that your listeners will find your content first. And the long-term benefits of good SEO practices are that your content will continue to show up in search results, and that will bring new listeners months or years after that content has been released. So here are a few tips you can use to improve your SEO practices. Spend some time researching keywords for your content and craft compelling, keyword-rich episode titles and descriptions. Provide accurate metadata for every piece of content that you release. This helps make it more searchable. Provide accurate metadata for each episode. Episode transcriptions can also help because of the keywords, obviously, and searchability on Google and other search engines. And encourage audience engagement. Ask listeners to rate and review and comment on your content. This will bring it up to the top of the search results. Once you've mastered your SEO practices, we'll move on to our third tip, which is engaging community and networking. Community engagement and networking are a very powerful tool for your podcast. Interacting with your audience regularly on social media is a huge contributing factor to the growth of your podcast. Make sure you're responding to DMs and comments and fostering a community around your podcast. Create conversations and initiate discussions around your niche. Ask questions and encourage audience participation. Another tip that I really love is to join relevant communities online, forums, Reddit, Facebook groups, etc. Finding niche-specific communities related to your podcast will give you an opportunity to share your expertise, answer questions, and mention your podcast when relevant, no spamming, and establish yourself as a knowledgeable and trustworthy member of your community. And last but not least, guest and collaborate with other podcasters. Try to guest on other shows in or adjacent to your niche. Guest on other shows and collaborate with other podcasters and influencers. This cross-promotion obviously introduces you and your podcast to new audiences. And inviting influential figures as expert guests on your podcast will also help build your trustworthiness and rapport. All right, there we have it. That's 3 strategies you can use to amplify your podcast, utilizing social media, improving your SEO processes, and building your community. Applying some or all of these strategies will help expand the reach of your podcast and expand the impact you have on your listeners. I'd love to hear what you think, though. What are some things you do to help amplify your podcast? And what are your tips and tricks on SEO? Because like I said, it still feels like a magic spell. And before we head out, I just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in this week. If you want to connect with me, you can reach out to me on Instagram and Threads and TikTok. My username across social media platforms is Podcast with Jen. I hope you'll join us next week. We're going to be talking about a subject that's near and dear to my heart, and that is how to unblock your creativity. I'm really looking forward to digging into that, and I hope you'll join me. I hope you have a happy and creative week, and I'll talk to you again on Monday. Bye.